Hello and welcome to Climbing Daily. We're here in the Lake District for the Arc'teryx big weekend, and we've been up there in the hills filming some bouldering. In fact, here's a little teaser of what we've been doing. So that's what we've just been doing, and the full video of that will be coming to Climbing Daily really soon. Now, it is Friday, which means it's the gear show, and when we're on the road, we tend to do these live shows looking at shoes, because it's quite a good way of just talking about gear, really. And back here in this very dry van, as I'm getting very wet, there's the guys who we've been climbing with today. So, Will, you're up first. Come down, sit in the semi-dry spot here. Sorry to drag you out of the dry van. Now, Will, I was quite excited by your shoes because they're the new Scarpas, and I know we've just started stocking them in the EpicTV shop, so I've never worn them, so tell me a bit about them.
They're the new Scarpa Magos. I've had them about a couple of weeks now, which is, a couple of months even. Good shoe, nice fit, I was really surprised, they're obviously quite downturned, but when I first put them on, fit really snug. It was quite strange. I didn't have to break them in or anything. It was good. Really good on a board. You can get a lot of downturn, a lot of torque off them, which is really good.
So let's talk specifics. So rubber on the bottom of those things?
They're the
It's rubbed off, isn't it?
It's rubbed off. That's what's happened. No, they're the Vibram rubbers, the X series, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Good sticky rubber.
And that kind of mid-sole split, I presume it gives you just a little bit of flexibility?
It gives it that little bit extra flexy, so if you're needing to push down a bit more, if you're standing on a bit of an edge, it can give your foot a bit more of a move and feel to it, which is good.
And for me, I don't know if you find this, I find the fit on the Scarpa shoes really nice, like a sort of glove-like fit, so it slips in.
Like I say, when I first got them, I was really surprised because, like I say, it's a downturn shoe. Usually when you get them, you usually getting your bags and squeezing, but these fit really snugly. The heel for me, obviously you can see it's a bit aggressive, but for me, I find it fits quite well. Some people have said it's a bit baggy, but again, fits me pretty nicely.
And your street shoe size and the size of those shoes?
My street shoe size is about 7.5, 8, and I think these are a 40 European size, so I think that's a 7. Yeah, so not too far down, so you don't have to go too far down to get a good fit.
Awesome, man. Well, cool to see that shoe in person. Thank you for climbing with me today. I'll send you back into the dry.
Yeah.
Next, wet victim, who's up? So next is Anna. Anna, come and join me. Very familiar pair of shoes in your hands. Tell us what they are.
So these are Sportiva Geniuses, and I've just started climbing in them recently. I was wearing the Futuras before that, but I really like them. They've got the no edge technology as well, which I think is really cool.
So one thing I was always confused about with those two, what is the difference between a Genius and a Futura?
To my knowledge, I haven't had these that long yet, so I'm not completely sure, but I think these are just a tiny bit more aggressive. They're maybe slightly stiffer, and the one thing I prefer them to the Futuras for is that the heel is maybe slightly more, it cups your heel slightly nicer than maybe the Futuras would.
How do you find no edge technology in terms of durability? Do you go through the shoes quite quickly, or do they last you?
They probably last me about the same as an edged pair would, and yeah, I haven't noticed that much difference.
And the main advantage for using no edge technology, what is that for someone who hasn't used it before?
Well, I tend to climb a lot of slabs, so I find, because they look fairly aggressive, so they're quite good for overhangs, but they will also climb slabs really well, so I don't have to buy loads of different pairs of shoes for different things, so they work on slate and gritstone, and they're good in climbing walls too. So yeah, pretty much a good all-rounder.
Perfect. And your street shoe size and the shoe size of that?
My street shoe size is 6, and these are 6 as well.
Really, that's it? Because I always have to go down with La Sportiva. I'm like a size down or a size and a half.
No, these are exactly the same, and that's how I've worn them for the last 3 years, so they work.
Perfect, well you've heard it here first. Anna, thank you very much indeed.
No problem.
Okay, so next up is Adam. Yep. Thank you, man, sorry to drag you away. Your shoes, Scarpa Boost It?
Yeah, they're the Scarpa Booster S.
I've worn the Scarpa, what are they called? You know the lace-up ones? Vapors, the Vapors are literally
Vapors.
mind blank. I've worn them, never worn these.
Yeah.
So what are these good for?
They're very good on like overhangs. They're obviously pretty downturned, and they're also quite good on edges. The forefront of the toe's quite stiff, but they've also still got like a flexible midsole, so you can still smear with them, which I find really well.
Does that make it so it's not the best? Because I always find if you've got that midsole cut out, it's not as stiff as it would be,
Yeah.
but you still find them fairly stiff?
Yeah, so the midsole's really soft, but the actual toe, because it's quite a round thing, the actual toe's quite stiff. So they're obviously not as good as like a full midsole shoe, but they still do the job.
And how do you find the toe section? Because I love that whole one piece of rubber. Have you found it flaking or has it lasted for you?
I've had a pair before and they flake like a little bit, but normally, yeah, it lasts really long. Sometimes I find because they're so downturned, if you're trying to toe hook, it almost works against you because they're pointing away.
Okay.
But as long as you get enough of the foot in, then it's normally all right.
And heel hooks, stuff like that, all good?
Brilliant, yeah. The heel fits my heel really well. Sometimes if I'm heel hooking really hard, my foot starts to cramp a bit because they kind of bend when you heel hook.
You did that today, actually. You
yeah,
pulled on and were like,
stuff
no,
like
I can't do it.
So I have to kind of flatten my foot out a bit. But yeah, if really, really aggressive heel hooks, they're brilliant.
And what would you say they're not so good for? What's their sort of weakness, in your opinion?
I'm not really sure. They're kind of good for everything. I kind of use them for everything just because I just use one pair of shoes. But probably really, really stiff edging slabs. Probably on slate and stuff as well because the midsole's probably just a bit too flexible. But yeah, they're fairly good all around, I'd say.
Awesome. And final question, your street shoe size and the size of these?
My street shoe size is about a 9 and these are a EU42, which is an 8.
Okay, so almost a size down. Is that general for you with Scarpa shoes or shoes in general?
Yeah, I tend to like them quite tight just because my feet are quite a weird shape. They're quite low volume. So if I get them a lot tighter, then they fit a lot better for me.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for today. Talk to you later. Charlie, come and have a seat. So Charlie has set everything up for us in the last couple of days. So thank you so much, number one.
Pleasure.
And thanks for your van. It's an amazing van.
That's what it's here for.
You've got some squamas going on there.
Yeah.
The sort of the classic all-round shoe.
Yeah, although I don't know, I wouldn't call them all-round shoe. I use them for bouldering, especially steep stuff, and yeah, steeper sport climbing. They're a very soft shoe, with a very kind of aggressive heel, toe-down shape. You know, like a lot of shoes on the market have that sort of style, but I find them, the great thing about these for me is they're unbelievably comfortable.
Okay.
So I can put them on at the wall and, you know, stand on small footholds, climb hard stuff, but I don't need to take them off every 10 minutes.
Do you know what the middle cutaway thing is on the toe? Because I've never quite been sure myself.
Primarily it's to give it more softness in the, is it lateral? Crossways anyway, so the shoe will like flex in that direction more and less so in that direction. So it gives it more sensitivity without having to have thinner rubber and so on.
And the P3 platform that's built in, that's meant to sort of, one of the things it does is help them keep that shape.
Yeah, so inside the sole there's a piece of material which holds that specific shape. So it's not done, basically as the rubber softens up and the boots wear in, it keeps that tension.
Is that something you've noticed over other shoes, that it does kind of keep that shape for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I suppose it does, yeah. I mean, all shoes tend, obviously, as they soften up, they tend to kind of, they gain more sensitivity and they get slightly less support, but the Sportiva shoes seem to hold that kind of shape more than most.
And your normal shoe size and the shoe size of the shoes? That makes sense.
Normal shoe size is a 9, so I think that's 43. Yeah, 43, and these are 39, so I go down like
You go down a
4,
lot.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I'm into pain.
Yeah, because Adam Ondra does the same thing. He's like, I think
Yeah.
he's
That's
8
why I
and he's
climbed
like
hard
size
to him.
5.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Watch out, Adam.
Yeah, because it's interesting because I think La Sportiva were telling me that they really discourage it because they're like, they've designed their shoes to work not crammed up.
Yeah, what do they know?
They don't know nothing. Nothing. There's a bit of a special heel going on with the Squamas.
Yeah, the S heel they call it. So basically what it is a piece of rubber, stiffer rubber on the inside of the heel. So when you're heel hooking, it stops any flexibility in this side of the heel so that it tends to not roll on your heel. And believe it or not, it does actually work.
Yeah, because that's something in a really soft shoe, you can just almost feel your foot just coming off a heel hook sometimes.
So quite often when you're heel hooking, you're not necessarily heel hooking like on this part of the heel, you're heel hooking on the outside of your heel. And so the shoe tends to sort of twist on your heel I find that a lot anyway.
Yeah.
And especially in a softer shoe that's not a lace up, you tend to have slightly less support of your foot twisting in the shoe. This makes a huge difference.
Awesome, man. And the one strap that keeps you in place.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
You've got a bit of flexibility with where you can strap it, kind of like a little bit further back or further forward.
That's right. Yeah, and you also, as you pull it round, it pulls the top of your foot into the back of the heel and then pushes your toe forward. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. And that's the end of the live-ish gear show for today. But our episode and these guys' episode with the Bouldering is coming very, very soon. And if you want to find out more about the Arc'teryx Big Weekend and the Arc'teryx Lakeland Revival, then there is a link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.